right, I'm going to call to order the October 15th meeting. If we could all please communication.
Dear Lord, thank you for all who are gathered here tonight, Lord. Thank you for all who have agreed to serve on this council, Lord. Guide and direct us all, Lord, as we make decisions affecting this community, Lord, and the people that live here, Lord. As Gene Wayne reminded us last meeting, be thankful for all the blessings that we have, Lord. We are blessed people. We're blessed where we live, Lord. And all these things we pray in Jesus' heavenly name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If y'all could please silence your cell phones or turn them off.
On back to Apple. Still on back to Apple.
Yeah, right. All right, first on the agenda is public comment. Ms. Payne? Did you just sign in, or you want to come to the? Yep. You're first on the list.
Do I need to wear this as I speak?
Uh,
I think I'm far
We will, yeah, you're distance enough.
Thank you. All right, now what I'm speaking about. And here you
Thank you.
go. This is Nancy Payne. My address is 6258 Circle Drive, and also own property at the corner of Maddox and Main Street, 4296 Main Street. Now, I'm here regarding the rules and regulations posting political campaign signs. And note, there's more information for the following was obtained, or the information was obtained from blah, blah, blah. You can read all that. From the paper, the Virginia Pilot. This is in 2004. The ACUL warns against restricting political signs. This is what the article was all about. I was here before, in 2004. We talked all about this. But I'm back, as I say. I'm back because this has come up again. So, the rules and regulations on posting the signs are pretty clear. It's from this ordinance that they have. So it's warning localities against enforcing time restrictions on privately posted political signs, and goes on to state the statute really does nothing more than codify the First Amendment right to post a sign with a political message on your property whenever you wish, and you're not going to like this, for as long as you like. So that means they could stay there forever if they're on your property and you own it. So you can't enforce people to take them down, whatever. Now, and it's also in the Code of Virginia, which is quoted here too. But when I became an active member of the political scene here on Chincoteague, I got advice from a long-timer. And what she gave me, she said, if our Senate side loses an election, you take the signs down the next day. If they win, you leave them up for 2 weeks. My plan is, a week I think is quite long enough, but I always like what she told me. I try to follow that. Now, then it comes, how do you get the right to display your signs? Your yard sign, which most people have, or that's the size they use when they display a political sign. You put it on your personal property or your business property, or where permission has been owner granted. In other words, if you are a neighbor, you think they might like a sign, but they're not around a lot, you can talk to the neighbor, do you think it's mine, blah, blah, blah. So you have officially gotten permission. You just don't go there and put a sign in their yard. It's placed 15 feet from the edge of the street or the roads. And if they're not that far back, then the signs are in trouble. And they can't block the view of drivers. That kind of makes common sense. And they're not to be placed on town or state properties. Now, I've been doing this business the sign business for 20 years. And at one point, they were taken just all over and just put everywhere on town property. Nancy Payne had a fit, you know, they're not supposed to be there, they had to come down, and they were. But I don't think that each time we should have to do this, you know, kind of talk about this, because every 4 years, this issue is going to come up. It especially comes up at a presidential campaign. It's a given. So it's going to happen. Now, I've also had big signs on my corner property on the corner of Maddox and Main. There are 2 signs there. One of them has been vandalized, you know, spray painted. Now, through various channels, some complain they are too big. Remove them. Put this suggestion into context. To arrive on Chincoteague, you must travel a causeway filled with a large number of advertising signs, many larger than mine. My visual-based mind likens this to traveling through the yellow pages of an old-fashioned phone book. This is what you see as you travel along. Have any signs, these complainers, have they mentioned or thought about these signs, suggested that they be removed? My signs are indeed temporary, will be removed when the election is decided. They will come down. Will the major icon polluting many along the Pollock Causeway ever be removed? Signs. So I think, kind of taking that issue at point, I think when we see signs, if they mean something to you, if it's your advertising on the causeway, it means something to you. But if you, and you have a political sign, because I do, on my property, they mean something to me. So they're very personal too. Not only because people see them, but then when you come to the point, okay, but then other people are seeing them. And how long are they gonna be there? Do I have to look at them forever? As I said, being a visual person, it's a hard problem. Signs. If they meet all the rules and regulations, are vandalized, damaged, etc., persons taking part in these activities are trespassing, damaging, stealing private property. They're committing crimes. So that's the thing that I think we need to get across to these people who are doing these things. My next suggestion at the bottom of this is that it seems to me, and I'll read the first part of this, 20 years I've been involved in the island political arena, constantly frustrated. Town government doesn't make stronger effort to connect with we the people. Why not use the free beacon as a connector? Print it every week. Do government-related columns about meetings, activities. Who would do this? Maybe the high school students would do it. But I used to be a teacher. It'd be a great project for them to do. Have students do. Part of classwork. They become involved then also in the civics of the town, and who knows, they might even run for political office, maybe for one of your, town council, because they've gotten involved in it at that level. If not, if that is not possible, then I know that Chincoteague Island is the wealthiest town in Accomack County. You have the money to pay someone if you have to do a reporter who I'm sure you're not familiar with this, are you? You could pay a reporter to put the column in the Beacon each week and let all of us know what's going on. And in getting around what I'm saying here is, have that happen about the signs, and the issue's been put in the Beacon, like at the beginning of this month, about the rules and regulations, maybe I wouldn't be standing here now, because people would have been informed about it. And I think that's what the town needs to do, is informing people a little bit more about what you're up to, and let us know. And we'll come. We can't fill your meetings right now, but we'll come and fill your meetings and stand up here and chatter at you and get us more involved. We would like to have that happen. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question. Ms. Payne, did retired zoning administrator Kenny Lewis
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
has retired zoning administrator Kenny Lewis or Mark Bowden said anything to you about your signs?
Has anyone from here, you mean the signs?
Yes.
No.
Okay, that's why I just want to clear up in this. Thank you.
No.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's-
it kind of made it sound like you were complaining to us that we've said something to you about your signs.
No, the thing is, the whole thing is, it seems to me we shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to be here if everyone knew about the sign. Is that when the complaints are coming up about them, they're going on to various things, like the things that I don't even know about. Facebook and, whatever. This has come up about someone saying my signs are too big, they should come down. Someone from the town complaining about them. I don't know who it was, so.
I just want to make sure it wasn't official. I do thank you for your honesty.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Ms. Flanagan?
Good evening. My husband and I just wanted to come here and sing some praises of the Chincoteague Island Police Department because we had an issue at the Captain Timothy Hill House. A window was broken, and it was broken in such a way that someone was able to get their hand in and steal an antique lamp. And Officer Gladding came, and along with, I think, his relief officer, and I don't remember his name. Then he eventually brought in an inspector from the shore. And it was amazing to watch them work and how they got out the forensic kits, I guess. They made us get out of the way. There was all kinds of broken glass and things, and they were picking up everything very carefully, labeling, whatever. And I have to tell you, it looked like we were in the middle of an episode of NCIS. It was just great. They could not have been nicer. And they were looking for blood. They would find blood, because then that could be something that could, be saved as a DNA, I guess. But then when Paul and I were doing some cleaning, we moved some glass off the top of the cupboard where the glass had landed. And we saw a spot, and he came back, and yes, it was blood. So we do have DNA, and he just called as we were coming to the meeting, and he said he is closing the case, but not to think that that means it's closed forever if anything comes up, because there evidently has been a good bit of vandalism and some things going on the island, and there could be a possibility that certain things are connected. They don't know whether this would be, but it's also could be part of the agenda. So, we're just so proud of the department and how seriously they took it. They made us feel very important, and they made us feel very safe about what, talking us through what we could do and everything. We actually put up some cameras, and Officer Gladding asked, how are the cameras doing? And we said, actually very well. They chirp all day long. But then one night at 3 o'clock in the morning they chirped, and there was this white thing doing something like this, and we were like, nightmare. It was a spider. Right. on the camera. So I just think that sometimes, everybody always complains about, police departments a lot. I mean, we don't necessarily,
Yes,
but I just wanted you all to know. I'm so happy that the chief is here to hear that what a wonderful job they did and how respectful they were. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda for this evening.
Second.
Motion and second. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Alrighty, thank y'all. Next up is a proclamation. Whereas throughout our community, there are many cemeteries and family burial grounds, and whereas over the years, many of the loved ones of these buried in the cemeteries have moved away or are no longer able to tend to these cemeteries, and whereas many organizations and individuals throughout our community have volunteered to assist in the cleanup of these sites and common areas within these cemeteries, and whereas these organizations and individuals need assistance from all citizens to accomplish their cleanup goals to beautify and preserve our family burial grounds, now therefore I, Mayor John A. Leonard, do hereby proclaim the week of November 7th through November 13th, 2020 as Cemetery Cleanup Week within the town of Chincoteague, and call upon our citizens to volunteer to organize and assist in the cleanup of our island cemeteries. Dated this the 15th day of October 2020. Alrighty. And if just for notes, anybody wants to help, please see Miss Richardson. She's does a great job cleaning up our cemeteries, and believe me, that's unbelievable how many little cemeteries there are on the island that they have to deal with.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
may, we're going to be over cleaning the mechanics, like picking up stuff that's laying out there, because the town does a good job as far as keeping the grass cut. But we're gonna go over there on November the seventh, I think it is, that's a Saturday, the first Saturday. And just pick up stuff and kinda clean up, go through it. That's a big cemetery to
Mhm.
walk and do.
Sure is.
So, and if you're near another cemetery and you see something needs to be cleaned up, please do that. There's trash cans out at the end of the cemetery where you can deposit stuff, and the town will pick that up.
Alrighty, thank you.
Mhm.
Alrighty, we're gonna, review the state of emergency. Mr. Rush?
Good evening again. Put a little slideshow together for you tonight just to kind of give you some visuals, because I know everyone's probably tired of just looking at me standing up here talking, but not a lot of new information, but what we do have on our health metrics will be current as of 10 a.m. this morning, and will be in addition to what I reported to you in your weekly report on Monday morning. So, and I will note what the differences are. So in the Commonwealth of Virginia, as of 10 o'clock this morning, 2,326,802 people have been tested in the Commonwealth. So you can see that number is consistently going up each time you see it. And there are numerous tests thankfully available out here now. So we're not having a problem getting people tested here in the short term. In Virginia, the number of testing positive throughout is now at 162,941 positive cases, which is an increase of 3,371 since your report on Monday. So the Virginia positivity rate, 4.7%, which is still really, really good compared to where we were at those days of our 8s and 7%. That was still a 0.2% increase from what you saw on Monday. However, in the eastern region, we're actually doing really well. In the eastern region, and by that I mean Fort Smith, Norfolk, the Eastern Shore, that area of the state, we're only seeing about a 3.9% positivity rate. So to show you that our region is doing really well. Hospitalizations in the state, 11,704, which is 151 more than what we saw in Monday's report. Unfortunately, deaths in Virginia are at 3,388, with 27 being the increase since Monday for the death matrix. Eastern Shore statistics. So Accomack County now reports 1,197 cases, which is +7 from Monday. Still 92 hospitalizations and 19 deaths overall, which are unchanged. Northampton is also unchanged since Monday's report. 311 cases, 49 hospitalizations, 31 deaths. Then here on Chincoteague, we have 31 cases, which is 31 reported cases since the beginning, which is no change since Monday morning. And Monday's morning's report, we added that one since last week. So again, a fairly stable situation at this time. And like I said, the eastern region of the Commonwealth is doing really well right now, with a positivity rate lower than the rest of the state. 642 individuals have been tested, which is an increase of 6 additional tests since Monday. So COVID and Halloween. I know there's been some discussion out here, about Halloween. Is it going to happen? The slide you see up there went out on our Facebook and social media pages the other day. Bless you.
Thank you.
With that, we are, like we've discussed before, Halloween is a go. We have been working with a lot of our nonprofits. We've been working with the chamber. We've been working with a lot of folks trying to get some sort of normalcy in our fall and winter season. That's what we're trying to achieve. And certainly the health metrics that are out there will help drive that. And that's what our planning has been based on. So with Trick or Treat will go forward on the 31st, but as you can see, our messaging is pretty strong messaging. Use a lot of hand sanitizer. Keep your hands clean. Anybody, the adults that are in these groups need to stay separated. If you're not in a family household, stay separated. And wear those masks, okay? Cloth masks that cover your face and your nose. Again, we have that social responsibility to protect one another. And we've also put some stuff there for those folks that are handing out. We highly encourage it. But again, try to limit contact with the children. Try to limit contact amongst one another. So that's what our messaging is going to say throughout the Halloween period. We'll put some more information out in probably the next week and a half that revolves around the downtown traffic disruption as well as Sunnywood. Again, this year we'll be closing those roads and allowing them to walk only. So that'll make things a lot safer for everyone. The downtown merchants are participating. Some of our other fall and winter, the tree lighting is going to go right now as planned, as well as our Christmas parade. But again, the messaging is going to say the same thing. Keep that distancing, wash your hands, wear a mask. Unfortunately, this may become our new normal for a while. Unfortunately, today, one of the meetings that I attended, VDEM has announced now that they will not go back live to meeting or in their offices until at least March, which means they'll have been out for at least 1 year. And there's even talk of going all the way into July, which would be summer, before they go back physically. So unfortunately, with things like that, I don't know that we're not going to have to adapt. The planning team, and like I said, some of our local nonprofits and all have been coming together, asking questions. The CCA with the holiday market, they're going to go through with a one-day event, but they've put a lot of thought and effort into it and have asked a lot of questions. So anything that's being done is being done safely, and again, by what the health data out there is. There's always the possibility, and I will caution that, if our numbers were to increase for whatever reason, we have an outbreak, the events may have to be canceled. But that wouldn't be any different than a typical weather event that we've experienced in the past. So anything that we can help these organizations go forward with, I'm there for them, and I know everyone here at these tables are there for them as well, so we'll try to do all we can to make it happen.
I got a question.
Sure.
We had talked about at the meeting those nice signs we were going to get. Is there any way to alert these people when they're coming on the island that we're requiring the mask during the trick-or-treating and so forth? Do we have a way, Robbie, now or not?
We could ask VDOT, but they've become a lot more stingy with using their signs, non-traffic use, but certainly I can.
We won't have our signs by then, will we, Mike?
No, sir.
No.
We probably won't have them for at least a month.
Okay, I was just curious.
But you're right, we do have a lot of people come off from the island and come here.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of people
So,
this year.
yeah, I think if you get a VDOT sign, yeah, you're 100% right. And we, we don't discourage it, but we still want them to know.
If we have our signs next month, that'll cover the tree lighting
And
Christmas
Christmas
parade.
Right.
The only one we'll miss is trick or treat.
Trick-or-treat. All right, that's all I have.
Oh, are you gonna close downtown street?
Downtown will be closed from Church Street through to Crawford Street. Yep.
Crawford to Church.
And the downtown merchants are going to set up as they have in the past, and again, try to keep that distancing, but also to get some normalcy going.
And they are also planning to use the park also, so
Yes.
we can
So
space out.
people can really spread out. So hopefully, some will be downtown while some are in Sunnywood, vice versa. That's the goal. That's the goal. Also, before you is just a quick 5-day view of what the tropics look like now. Thankfully, it's gotten a lot better out there. The southwest corner of the Caribbean there, it's 20% chance in the next 5 days. And then that banana shape that you see there between Bermuda and the Antilles, that's also got a 20%, but that's actually sweeping from the northeast down there to the southwest and then maybe some westward, but that's only a 20%. So hopefully it stays at 20 and then just fizzles out. That's what's been happening here as of late. But just remember, November 30th is the technical end, and again, nor'easters seems to be what our problem can be throughout the winter. So no one needs to let their guard down. Everybody should be prepared. So in summary, we are in still response operations now for 219 days. And we're also doing recovery. The CARES Act, things like that is also part of the recovery operations, trying to get things back up and moving. The COVID numbers are at a steady state right now, and yeah, I don't see any reason they won't stay that way. Like I said, Eastern region's good, but there still is and probably going to be likely sometime throughout the late fall and into the winter that we will see some additional cases along the way. It's just going to be unavoidable at this point, but I think as long as everyone does what they can do, wears your mask, stay distance, and keep your hands clean, hopefully we can keep moving forward. Like I said, we're going to do everything we can to help with the fall and winter activities, mostly in part, but you know, with some modifications, I think we can make most of them happen based on what the CDC recommendations are. And again, hurricane season doesn't end until the 30th, but we always need to be prepared because other things can happen. And again, the 3 W's: wash your hands, wear your mask, watch your distancing. Any questions?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Brian.
thank
We're gonna
you.
get the wall mask.
Yeah. Alrighty, next on the agenda is to review the CARES Act 2.0 and the awards. Mr. Talbot.
Okay. Just 1 second to reposition this. So, CARES Act 2, and I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. CARES Act 2.0 has been very successful. We have to date handed out an additional 33 small business grants and an additional 3 Waterman grants. So we are up to a total of 86 small business grants and 10 Waterman grants. Last CARES Act round, we handed out $242,000 worth of grants, and I just signed enough checks to hand out another $144,000 in checks. So people have gotten word, and the committee, and thank you, Councilwoman Batten, Councilwoman Richardson, who helped me with the awards on Monday. And the feeling is here that most everybody that is deserving and wanting some has had an opportunity, an adequate opportunity to apply for and receive a grant. If you look, and this is a new chart, newer than what I sent you this afternoon, because it is a fluid situation. And the green area represents what we've spent to date. We have spent a total of $428,047.27, and that includes the awards for both Waterman's and both business grants, as well as the hazard pay, which we distributed to deserving employees. And we also purchased some equipment for the public bathrooms here on the island. That leaves us a total of our award, and by the way, the original award or allocation to us was $503,922. So that leaves us a balance of $71,874 to still spend on qualifying items. There's a list of qualifying expenditures at the bottom there in the white. I have ordered them in priority, which I think they should be. If anyone would like to give me some input on that, I'd be thrilled. But the remote display boards that we were just discussing, there's 2 of those. Two of those total $38,000, almost $500. Some additional PPE for the EMS department. A server which we've already replaced, which qualifies under CARES Act. The streaming equipment that we're using right now to allow people to attend the meetings remotely. A few laptop computers in case the staff has to go home again and work from home. That'll be a big help. Some additional PPE and cleaning supplies for Public Works, who still cleaning our bathrooms every 2 hours. There was some police special duty which was done early on back in March at the bridge, and some other assignments they had, which was going business to business and
giving the businesses instructions on how to stay in compliance. And we'd like to supply our public restrooms with some touchless hand dryers. So those are the items that I see. You've seen most of these items before. I tried to hit the items which are of significant value so that we can make the most out of our grant. Unless anyone has any suggestions for me or something else, I'll put this into motion tomorrow.
I do have a question. At the very bottom, the new dispatch console that we were talking about the other night in the budget meeting, that's the price of it right there, or is that?
That is the price which we just received today. The reason you have a new chart. And in order to make that, the original price was a little bit lower, but in order to make it qualify so that we could dispatch from a remote location, it added several $1,000s, and that is the total. So, we don't have that much money left in our award. Being honest with you, without the remote location capability, I'm a little reluctant to include that in this grant because we would be dancing on the edge of whether it qualified or not, and I don't want somebody to come back and say I owe them $78,000.
What is the price of it, if Robbie may know this, the price of it without the remote?
67,000 change.
Yeah.
And that was the least expensive option.
No, the least expensive option would not work for us.
Oh.
Determined. That was what they had done. He was gonna try to bust up with a system like the Star Transit they got, but when they got looking into it, it was several things on there that weren't commercial to us as far as being able to hear another channel while, another channel was talking and so forth. So he didn't think that that would be very good for public safety, so he kinda warned me against that. And then, this was the next one that he came up with. And the good thing that Milt has told me about this is this system should be, I think the system we're on now was replaced, was it '07?
Yes.
Our system we're operating on now was replaced in '07 at about $49,000. This system, that he's talking now, he's, pretty much doesn't have any problem with it going 15 to 20 years at least. Because he said the way it's being built now, any updates or anything will just automatically, go right in. And also this system, whenever they're gonna, I'm sure y'all heard about the 911, there's gonna be changing their radio system. This system will also go right in with that. We can adapt, everything right to that system, so.
My other question would be, is it necessary for us to have 2 message display boards and put some of that money towards the console system?
It is not. These are 2 different boards. One of them is similar to what you see the state put out. It's not quite that big because we're not putting boards on an interstate that people go out and buy that fast. The other one is a special board which also has a radar component which could be used by the police department for doing radar or doing speed checks or speed zones, as well as messaging. It has a 4x8 message board. It's bigger than the speed trailer they have now, so it would serve dual purpose, a dual purpose. And the gentleman who is selling those has sold several to other localities that they have used CARES Act money to purchase. So I feel quite comfortable getting those. As I said, the console for dispatch, which we would love to have because we'd love to get it paid for once by someone else. The guidance I've sought on it has been that if it can be done remotely, it qualifies. If not, there's a question. And I'm hesitant to go that much money
Right.
and get denied.
Is there any other grant money available, Robbie, for?
Not that I'm aware of. I think Milt was gonna try to work some of his magic and see if he can, help us out on that also, if he could find any grant money.
Got a payment plan?
$1 a week.
Yeah. Gosh, in the budget meeting the other night, we were talking about, for those of you that weren't here or weren't listening, how important this dispatch console is for the officers, in so many ways, they're using portable handhelds right now because the dispatch console is shot. And, given today's climate, with police officers and EMS and everything, that, this is a piece of equipment that this police department dearly needs.
So if the need's there, I mean, the thing about it is, is this something we can consider taking out of savings? And then if a second round of CARES money does come around, then we could certainly apply for it retroactively at that point, right?
Depending on the rules associated with the second round of CARES,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Right now, the rules are that it couldn't be something that was in your budget. It had to be COVID related, and it has to have taken place, the expenditure has to take place between March 1st and December 30th. That's the three big rules right now. As long as they don't change those, we could qualify again.
Personally, I feel what Mr. Rush needs and Chief Fisher needs, I think that their department's needs, Public Works is probably gonna shoot me for saying it, but I think their needs in this time we're living in
Yeah,
are top priority.
yeah, public safety. I don't think it has to be an either or, myself.
Aren't these two ways though? This console, isn't it for two ways? This console's for two way though, isn't it? Don't you have multiple forms of communication? This is two-way communication, right? The old two-way, this console that we're looking at,
Yes.
that's for the two-way, right? Don't you have another form of communication too, or don't you have a duplicate?
No,
No, you just use a two-way exclusively. Okay.
just, the radio.
How do you tie into the county, or you don't tie into the county with the?
We have the county's channel also. See, that's the thing, we have, our police channel, Accomack County, the 911, and also channel 15, which Chincoteague was operating on when we were doing the 911 here.
Okay.
And we had Park Service also, for when we used to dispatch them, which I kinda, we're gonna get a system like this. I really don't wanna take them out, because we can still monitor their traffic, even though, they're Virginia and Maryland. And of course, we are dispatching for our Virginia side of the refuge now, but they're on the police department radio frequency. They don't have their own separate like they did when we had the 911 center here. So,
And quite honestly, if we're going to make this kind of investment, I don't care who pays for it, we certainly don't want to lose any capabilities. We want to be able to at least maintain our capabilities.
Absolutely.
Anything further? That it? All right, appreciate it. Item 9 is the mayor and council announcements. Mr. Reed? I have nothing. Ms. Taylor?
Do appreciate the comment for police, because he'll tell you, he applied for a traffic cop this year, and as a young man that I coached, and he's strong, not scared. His daddy is a cop, his granddaddy used to be. I said, man, there's a job opening, I could talk to Robbie right now. Not interested. That's what's scaring me now with young people. We need people to come up when things are good and operating properly to thank them, because I tell you the truth, I just fear later on these young people just not going to want to be this police officer. Like you say, you don't do it for praise, but you don't do it to get knocked either, so. But thank you so much for your comments. Greatly appreciate it. I know Robbie certainly greatly appreciates them.
Go.
Only thing I had was congratulate Chamber on a successful DIY Worcester Festival, and also thanks to the police department for doing all that traffic control for them too. It was a great event.
That well. Vice Mayor Bott?
I think the kudos goes out to the town staff on these, Waterman grants. So we were able to give, close to 84% of our CARES Act money went to businessmen, watermen, and to hazard pay, which is pretty impressive, I think, in comparison to some of the other localities around us, as we know. So I think that's something the town's done, and the staff made that happen and made it happen, quickly and efficiently. So I think that's a praise there.
Yep.
Ms. Bell?
Same, thank you for the compliment to our boys in blue. It's always good for us to hear it, but when the chief is sitting here, for him to hear it, that's always a good thing. And Ms. Payne, to your, message that you gave us tonight, you
I'm
know.
sorry, I'm almost deaf, so.
That's all right. Your message that you brought up here tonight, you know, communication for me has always been a big thing, and I think in the last year or so that the town has stepped up good with communication as far as people being able to hear and see the meetings live online. The website's been revamped and everything. Bottom line is, I can put this in front of somebody and say, read it, and they're going to choose to read it or not read it. We're doing our best, so stick with us, and hopefully, you know, word keeps getting out. But I can understand your frustration.
Well, if
well.
I could just add to that a little bit, I think it's fine with people who do have the computers and what have you, but there are a lot of people on this island, you know, they're 90 plus.
Yeah, I get it.
Who will read the beacon. They get the beacon, it's free, you can pick it up everywhere, and I think again, and that's what the suggestion is, and it's just a suggestion from my part, for those people, or for everyone, anyone who picks up the beacon and can read in it, if you put weekly what your agenda is for these meetings, then they can read the agenda and say there's something of interest that they want to go to. So I think you have to, you can put it on the websites and what have you, but you're missing a lot of people. And that's where I think it should be, that those people shouldn't be forgotten. Those are the ones who really need to have it, not the ones who have the computers that you get, you know, is I have a 17-year-old granddaughter, and her magic machine, I call it, is with her all the time, and she's getting all kinds of information. But a lot of people, I mean, I don't have a magic machine. So I think that's what I meant about it too.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Thank you. The other thing that I want to say again, from our last council meeting is to still keep our fellow councilman, Bill McCone, here in your prayers. He's getting ready to go through a small, I'm going to call it a small health crisis, because I know you're going to kick butt with it and get it out of the way. Other than that, Mr. Mayor, I'm good.
Ms. Richardson?
No, thank you.
Righty, nothing from myself. I'll entertain a motion to go into a closed meeting in accordance to 2.2-3711A3 for the Code of State of Virginia to discuss acquisition of real estate.
I make motion.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All righty, folks. Thank you.